Okay, let's go to the trading floor in Chicago and find out what's going on right there where all the traders are. And let's talk with Tim Evans of Longleaf Trading to get his thoughts on today's market action. Firmer tone in the corn and soybean and wheat trades so far today. What's going on?
Well, I think some of this dollar weakness, we've been seeing here over the last week, which is more or less a kind of a consequence of some of the issues that the Trump administration has been having, and the likelihood of them continuing to push through their growth agenda. That weaker dollar has really benefited commodities. I mean, we came in overnight last night. I mean, soybean futures were up on the Dalian exchange in China. The dollar was down, and so I think that gave the market, from a macro standpoint, something to work with. Obviously the wetter weekend and a call for wetter weather here this week has obviously been beneficial to both corn and soybeans and wheat.
What's going on in Brazil? I haven't heard much talk about that scandal down there that really affected their currency last week.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some very active movements in the Brazilian real, and this is going to continue to have, a big impact in terms of how competitive U.S. ag producers are, selling ag products, throughout the global market. The Brazilian real has been in a pretty steady downtrend. I mean, we saw late last week I don't know if it was more of a short covering rally, but the market was up about 3%. But that trend has been down. There's scandal plague there, and barring a big change, I think the trend should continue lower, which is going to continue to make it difficult for U.S. exporters.
Okay, Tim, corn market's still a little firmer. Let's take a look at prices here, get everybody updated on the latest. July corn, 4 1/4 higher at 3.76 3/4, still within a penny of our high of the day. December up 4 cents right now at 3.94 1/4. Now to the soybean trade. Here we have July now trading 5 3/4 higher at 9.58 3/4. And November new crop now up 6 at 9.57 3/4, 2 pennies from our high of the day. Wheat trade has been fairly strong today. Of course, Egypt did buy some U.S. wheat. Haven't seen that happen for a while. July Chicago wheat now 6 1/4 higher at 4.41 1/2, and Kansas City wheat on July now trading at 4.43 1/2. That's up 5.5 cents. Of course, a lot of harvest delays being seen in the southern plains due to the heavy rain. Looking at the Minneapolis wheat trade, we have July currently 4 1/2 higher at 5.60 1/4, and in the cotton market, nearby July is still down 95 points at 78.50, and we have December down 28 now at 73.17. We'll come back in a moment and talk more with Tim Evans about our livestock trade when we come back after these messages.
We've got teams all over talking about low salt, micronutrient, high efficiency fertilizer teams like it's something new. What's your take?
I tell you, Don, AgroLiquid team has had these technologies for over 30 years.
And really unprecedented application versatility, compatibility, and ease of use. So they're your pick for the championship season?
You bet. Their full line nutrients is going to take them all the way to the root zone.
They're my pick too. AgroLiquid's going all the way.
Horn flies irritate cattle and can negatively affect the profit of your beef operation. Financial losses include decreased weight gains, feed efficiency, and milk yields. For as little as 3 to 5 cents per head per day, Alticid IGR is a feed-through that goes to work in cattle manure where horn flies lay their eggs. Alticid IGR prevents horn fly larvae from developing into breeding, biting adults. Keep your cattle peaceful, profitable, and horn fly free with Alticid IGR in your supplement program. To learn more, visit AlticidIGR.com or call your distributor.
We were talking earlier about the value of the U.S. dollar, and we can get you updated there, too, on the dollar index value and the crude oil market right now. They're going opposite directions today. June U.S. dollar index futures quoted 140 points lower at 96.890. And on the crude oil market, we have had a higher tone in the early going today. Sold off a little bit, but kind of firming up again now. June crude now 38 cents higher at $50.71 per barrel on the West Texas Intermediate crude. Heating oil trade has been firmer as well today. We have June futures now 1.8 cents higher at 160.1 per gallon. All right, let's go back to Tim Evans of Longleaf Trading in Chicago and find out what's going on in the livestock trade today. We got a new update from USDA at midday. It's their box beef cutout value update, and it was higher again today, Tim. Kind of took a back seat here on Friday as it sold off a little bit, but now choice cuts up 64 cents again today. Selects up $1.09, and wouldn't you know it, there they go with higher futures trade today. Of course, they started the ball rolling before we even got the beef cutout update. Let's take a look at our live cattle futures here, Tim, and want to get your thoughts on what kind of action you are seeing here. August live cattle futures now $1.30 higher at 122.35. October up 164. Feeder cattle side, we have the August contract there at $2.10 higher at 152.55. But I will put an asterisk there because that is almost $1 off of its earlier high now. September now $2.33 higher at 152.55. Same story. That one is off of its earlier high by 90 cents now. So at one point they were over $3 higher. Seems like the dust may be settling a little bit here right now, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing, with today's number, really what the market's ultimately trying to figure out is some of these cash trends that we saw that turned sour, turned negative. Is that going to be something we're going to continue to see here as as we move into the summer? Retailers are basically done, booking holiday specials here. The traders are expecting some pretty heavy placements for that cattle on feed report here later this week. So I think that still kind of overhangs the market. The thing we have to remember, and this kind of is what we were dealing with going back to the last April contract, is that, futures are still trading at a pretty steep discount to cash. So it really is kind of leaving bears reluctant to really step on the gas pedal and look for those cash prices to continue to move lower. I think the market's a little bit oversold here in the short term. However, I do indeed think those cash trends that we saw turn over, I think those ultimately will continue given the supply that we should see coming to the market. So, I think a move like today, especially if we get an extension from it, I think it's an opportunity to sell against it.
Okay, now today after the close, we do get a cold storage report, as we've been mentioning here today. What do you think is going to be the key number to keep an eye on in that report?
Yeah, we're going to see, obviously we have a wealth of information coming to the market today. Again, I think everything boils down to the change in the trend in cash prices. And any information that supports cash prices turning over, I think is something the bears are going to, I would assume, attempt to be aggressive with. I know we will at Longleaf.
All right, let's take a look at our lean hog trade on the current board prices. Here we'll get you updated where we have June just 8 cents higher. 79.58 is now your last trade, and July up 32 at 80.50. It's hanging in there above 80 bucks. August up 50 cents at 79.72, a dime off its high of the day. Tim, good to visit with you. Thanks for the update on the markets. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Marlin.
You bet. Tim Evans of Longleaf Trading there in Chicago. There you have the